This time, I'm going to talk about what Model View Controller is and how to implement Model View Controller in C#. The Model View Controller is an architectural pattern that separates our application into three main logical components: the model, the view, and the controller. I created a sample to demonstrate how do we use Model View Controller. Let's take a look at the application. For demonstration purpose, I created this simple application. This application will simply add up the single-digit number or subtract the single-digit number. If we just click the number will show up in this result text box. We can clear it, and if we want to sum up some number, we click the plus sign, and you can see the number will sum up and show in this result text box. If we want to do subtraction, we can click this minus sign and then subtract the number. Again, the result will show in this result text box. And also we can reset that. That means we will clear the result and then restart the process again. In the middle, we can also switch to subtraction, and also the result will show up in this result text box. Okay, let's take a look. How did I implement that in C#? In C#, we need to implement model, view, and controller separately. We will build our model, our view, and the controller. In the view, we have an interface. It will have a main function like add listener and get and set the result in the result text box, and we need to track the status. That means if the calculation is addition or subtraction. Then we need to create a class to implement the interface. We will have add listener and also the functions for result and functions for status, and also we need a controller connection to tell the controller what the user wants to do. So this class will implement this interface. In the controller, of course, we will have an interface. It will say what we should do when we do the addition and when we do subtraction, and what we should do when we want to clear the results. Similarly, we need a class to implement that interface. We will have all those methods implemented in the class. In the model, we need to do the real calculation. We will have an interface, have add, subtract, and also all those interface for change the status. Similarly, we will implement that in the class for those methods add, subtract, and also change status. In this controller, we will declare a model component. It will connect to the model component, and we will have a view component to connect to the view. So basically, the controller will control both view and model, and the three components, they are independent but connected by this controller. The main purpose of model view controller is separating the functionalities of view, controller, and model as much as possible. So the view will be responsible for displaying the interface for the user, and model will be responsible for the real calculation, and the controller will connect both components and control the whole process. Let's take a look at the C# source code. In C#, first we will declare this interface for the view, and then we have the class to implement all the methods in the interface. And then we have the interface for the controller. You can see the method declared here for the interface. And then again we have the class to implement all those methods. For the model, we will have the interface, has the method inside the interface, and then we have a class to implement all those functions in the interface. You can see when the state change, we will reset the value, depends on the states, either addition or subtraction. And then in the model, we have the real calculation, either to add the number or subtract the number. Now you can see we can switch the status from addition to subtraction, and we can reset the result. Of course, in the interface, we only see the view component, but behind the scene, we have a controller and also a model component. This is why we use model view controller and how we can implement that in C#. Please provide your comments and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching.